Today on Hidden Secrets Revealed Live. Happy New Year! Berkshire Hathaway CEO Warren Buffett retired. Warren Buffett has retired as CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, effective today, December 31st, 2025, after roughly 6 decades in the role. He's still a central figure in the company's identity and legacy. Buffett will remain chairman of Berkshire's board, continuing to provide guidance and investment insight rather than managing day to day operations. Greg Abel is currently vice chair. He oversees non insurance operations. Abel is set to take over as CEO effective January 1st, 2026. Buffett still plans to come into the office regularly. He'll support Abel and the broader leadership team during the transition period. This marks the end of one of the longest and most successful CEO tenures in corporate history. Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger built Berkshire into a conglomerate worth over $1 trillion in market value. The question is, to what degree will Berkshire's decentralized culture and value investing philosophy persist under Abel's leadership? Let me reveal this hidden secret to you live right now. HSRL is a production of Safe New Media. Before you keep watching, let me tell you who this is not for. This show is not for you if you take yourself too seriously. If you are a seeker, let me be your guide to discover accurate truth for yourself. Let me help you increase the quality and effectiveness of your life by revealing to you the hidden secrets of the universe. It's the only podcast of its kind right now on this subject, going live on X. Therefore, the most popular live stream podcast live right now on this subject, going live on X. This show is specifically for those who are seeking new perspectives, fresh ideas, and a willingness to explore new possibilities. My intention is to help investors like you stay ahead of the curve and make the most out of emerging opportunities. Today on HSRL. HSRL. I'm from Texas. I'm from Oakland. Okay, I'm from Nebraska. Ladies and gentlemen, Warren Buffett retired today, December 31st, New Year's Eve. Does this guy ever stop being a genius? He retired on the one day of the year when you know what everyone else is doing. Everyone else is already planning to wake up tomorrow feeling like their life is over. But you look at the stats, right? This guy beat the S&P 500 by 10 points a year for 60 years. 60 years. Most people can't even stay married that long for 60 years without wanting to commit a felony. And this guy is outperforming the entire American economy while eating McDonald's and Dairy Queen and living in a house that costs less than my entire podcast budget. It's crazy. It's like finding out your grandpa isn't only good at checkers, but that he's actually been the secret god king of logic for the entire Western world since the Eisenhower administration. Here's the thing everybody says, oh, plenty of managers have posted higher annualized returns than Buffett over shorter periods. Oh, okay. That's like saying, hey, I can outdrink Keith Richards if we only do one shot and I start half a bottle ahead. Yeah, Warren Buffett's finally retiring at 95. You know what that means? For the first time in 60 years, he's going to have time to spend all that money he's been hoarding. The man is 95 years old. 95. People say he's retiring, but we know the truth. He decided to stop showing up because the Grim Reaper keeps texting, "You up?" I'm kidding. He plans to still show up to help with the transition over to the new CEO, Greg Abel. Yeah, he's going to help with the transition, which means he'll be in the office every single day, hovering over Greg Abel's shoulder, like a 95-year-old ghost who refuses to haunt anywhere else, whispering, "You sure about that purchase, son? Back in 78, I got C's candies for practically a song." Poor Greg's sitting there thinking, "I'm the CEO of a $500 billion empire, and I still have to run every idea past a guy who thinks email is witchcraft." At this point, the Grim Reaper's not texting, "You up?" anymore. Now he's sending crying emojis, wondering if he'll ever get his turn. But here's the thing, this guy beat the market by 10% a year for 6 decades. Sure, everyone thinks that's investing, but you know what it is? It's the world's most epic magic trick. David Blaine's been doing the same 3 card tricks for 30 years, and we call him a genius. Warren did it with stocks. And we're like, yeah, seems reasonable. And now Greg Abel takes over. Poor bastard. That's like being the guy who has to follow the Beatles on stage. "Hey, everyone. Hope you enjoyed Let It Be. Now here's Greg with a kazoo." The funniest part? Warren's handing him a company that's sitting on more cash than it knows what to do with. It's overcapitalized. Do you know how rare that is? That's like inheriting a house where your dad was too good at paying the mortgage. "Sorry, son. I accidentally paid it off 47 times. The bank owes us now." And they've got this yen funded Japanese equity portfolio. You know what that translates to? Warren Buffett borrowed money in yen, a currency from a country where the interest rate is, "Please take the money, we're begging you." And Buffett used it to buy Japanese stocks. They call it value investing, right? I call it financial jujitsu. This beautiful little yen funded Japanese equity thing that's structurally printing money like it's a Tokyo copy machine. Translation: they borrowed Japanese money at next to 0% to buy Japanese stocks that keep going up. It's the most polite carry trade in history, like mugging someone and then bowing afterward. The man's 95 and he's doing currency arbitrage like he's in a Fast and Furious movie. One last job, Charlie. One last job. So, what about this yen funded Japanese equity portfolio? That sounds like something you hear right before a guy in a martial arts uniform tries to karate chop you in the neck. It's the ultimate Buffett move. He borrowed money from the Japanese, where interest rates are "please take our money," and bought their own companies with it. It's like going to your neighbor's house, borrowing his lawnmower, and then charging him $20 to mow his own lawn. And we call this value investing. In any other neighborhood, that's called being a jerk. But in Omaha, it's structural profitability. But you got to love that Greg inherits dry powder for opportunistic deals. You know what dry powder is? It's Wall Street speak for a ton of money we're waiting to use when everyone else is panicking. It's like showing up to a yard sale after a divorce. "Oh, you need to sell that Ferrari today? I got 30 bucks." The guy spent 60 years compounding at 20% while eating a Dairy Queen and driving a 2006 Buick. Meanwhile, do you know what every hedge fund bro in Manhattan is doing? Cocaine off a Bloomberg terminal, trying to beat him. and they can't. Here's the thing about this Greg Abel guy. Everyone says he's inheriting a gold mine. Greg Abel is taking over a company that has record-breaking cash, a massive T-bill position, a perfect Japanese portfolio, and enough dry powder to buy a medium-sized continent. Greg Abel is taking over a company where the only possible way to do his job is to do absolutely nothing. You get the biggest promotion in history, and the job description is, please, for the love of God, don't touch anything. It's like if they handed him the Mona Lisa and said, your job is to make sure no one puts a mustache on it. If Greg Abel does a great job, we should never hear his name again for 20 years. But the real kicker, the real old chunk of coal logic here is the cash. They say he has record dry powder. You know what dry powder is? It's a fancy billionaire term for I'm waiting for everything you love to fail so I can buy it for a nickel. Warren Buffett spent 60 years becoming the most beloved man in America by being the only guy who's genuinely excited when the economy has a heart attack. He's like a doctor who walks into the waiting room, sees you're dying, and says, boy, I've got some great news for my T-bill position. People talk about that 9-10% outperformance like it's a math problem. It's not math. It's a glitch in the simulation. If a guy beats the S&P by 10 points for 60 years, he's not a manager. He's a time traveler who he's really obsessed with insurance companies and sees candies. Greg Abel isn't succeeding Buffett. You don't succeed a guy like that. You can only stand next to the pile of money and hope nobody notices you aren't the guy who grew it. But here's the real kicker, the truly hilarious part nobody's saying out loud. The greatest investor of all time is walking away because he literally can't find anything worth buying. Think about that. Warren Buffett, value hunter extraordinaire, has so much cash sitting around, it's basically a money hoarder episode. He's got more dry powder than a Taliban fireworks stand, waiting for opportunistic deals. In other words, Greg Abel's first job as CEO is rooting for the world to fall apart until something finally looks cheap to a 95-year-old Nebraskan who still eats at Dairy Queen. So yeah, happy retirement, Warren. You beat the game for 60 years, told the rest of us peasants to just buy index funds. And now you're leaving your successor a fortress full of cash and a note that says, good luck finding anything that isn't insanely overpriced. Love, the guy who made everything insanely overpriced. Greg Abel's going to do great. Right up until the first year, he only beats the S&P by 8 points, and the internet loses its mind. Abel's a bum. Bring back the corpse. Happy New Year, everybody. That's my time. I got to get back to work. Share this, retweet on X. Subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube or Spotify. You're allowed to make fun of me, only if your jokes are funny and you get my name right. Now, you don't have to do this, but if you want to, you can go ahead and follow me on X. I follow other people who are funnier than me, they're smarter than me, and there's a lot of people who are funnier and smarter than me. But listen, if you don't follow me, go ahead and follow at Safe New Media. Follow at Safe New Media. Whatever you decide, team up with me to bring about serious advancement for each other. The plan is for our community to share with each other the systems, the processes, and workflows that we are successfully using in order to help each other grow. That's why I invite you to belong higher. Join our inner circle on Telegram. There's a link to it at the top of the Safe New Media X profile. The official source for this show is safenewmedia.com/HSRL. I want to give loyal listeners of this podcast something. Free gift for you if you want to start a podcast but feel imposter syndrome. You can get your copy of the Anti-Imposter Podcast Starter Kit at safenew.media. That's safenew.media. What I'm about to tell you next will shock you.
This is not an offer, solicitation of an offer to buy or sell securities. Past performance is not an indication of future results. Investing involves risk and may result in partial or total loss. Prospective investors should carefully consider investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses, and should consult with a tax or legal advisor before making any investment decision.
Before making any investment decision, do your own research. This is not financial advice. Are you an accredited investor? If so, listen up. This is for you. Today, owning a home now costs $52K more per year than renting. Families are stuck as forever renters. We're seizing this shift, buying 100 plus unit assets in growth markets. Few get in. Why? We don't need more money. We're looking for investors aligned with our values. We're improving quality of life at scale for hardworking families. Secure your place on our wait list. Go to Inveresta.com. You can subscribe to our newsletter. That secures your place. You can now receive your free guide. It's called Location Science 2026. 5 filters to find growth markets for multifamily real estate. Don't ignore the data before you invest. When you subscribe, you secure your place on our wait list for the next opportunity. Most real estate people tell you to invest in your backyard, which is great if you have a backyard with increasing population growth and job growth and all that. But what if your backyard is in the wrong location with population growth decreasing and job growth decreasing? That's going to be a problem. Avoid losing money in the wrong location. Hit me up on our X profile at Inveresta. Retail investors can send me a DM there. Let me know what kind of investment opportunities you are looking for. Accredited investors can get in touch with me today. Call my office. Go to Inveresta.com. Accredited investors only. This is not an offer or solicitation to the general public. Last couple things before I let you go. I want to invite you to subscribe to Methods of Prosperity newsletter. This is the newsletter that I write every week. You owe it to yourself to be rich. Society, our parents, teachers, and our peers have conditioned us. They want us to be like them. They need us to comply. They need us to be conventional, like they are. As Herb Kelleher. He's the co-founder and CEO of Southwest Airlines, one of the most successful airlines that has ever existed, at least for a good amount of time. He once remarked, all the people that were telling me those things were expressing conventional wisdom. And if it's conventional, it ain't wisdom. And if it's wisdom, it ain't conventional. My name is Sean Allen Fenn, and I'm obsessed with prosperity. This is the natural state of the human spirit. It turns out there's no limit. There's also many variables. Some keep their day jobs. Others go all in. Some are entrepreneurs, while others are value investors like Warren Buffett. But all of them have a certain mindset. Understanding what makes them tick grants us insight into our own journey. Methods of Prosperity newsletter is for anyone who agrees that success leaves clues. It's the most popular newsletter to brainwash yourself rich. Go to safenewmedia.com/newsletter. To become a billionaire, one must first be conditioned to think like a billionaire. You can now subscribe for free at safenewmedia.com/newsletter. Thanks for making this the most popular live stream at this hour on the subject, broadcasting on X, formerly known as Twitter, Hidden Secrets Revealed Live. is a production of Safe New Media, unconventional, diversified global digital media company devoted to the practice, administration, and dissemination of the ideologies of its founder, moi, yours truly, Sean Allen Fenn. It's definitely not a cult. I like you, but don't take my word for it. Decide for yourself. Now, for the last time this year, this is the last time I'm playing it until next year. This is a song for the holidays by Sean Allen Fenn called Diamond in My Pocket. A minute and a half of it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Happy New Year.